do you mean?
I mean that tonight you've made me ashamed of every concept I ever had of superior or inferior beings. And I thank you for that shame. Because now I know that we are each of us a separate human being, Brandon, with the right to live and work and think as individuals, but with an obligation to the society we live in. By what right do you dare say that there's a superior few to which you belong?
Una obra maestra de Sir Alfred, que nos demuestra su gran talento en un solo film. Una película completamente hecha en plano secuencia y con un solo escenario. Alfred los pone a prueba en este gran thriller psicológico.
What are you doing?
It's not locked.
All the better. It's much more dangerous. Anyway, the lock's too old. It won't work.
I wish it would. I wish we had him out of here. I wish it was somebody else.
This is an occasion. It calls for champagne.
Champagne?
I put some in the icebox.
When did you put it there, Brad?
Oh, just before David arrived.
You were certain it would come off, weren't you?
Of course. You know I'd never do anything unless I did it perfectly.
Dos amigos llamados Phillip y Brandon deciden organizar una fiesta, pero con un toque particular. En la misma estarán invitados dos amigos, el padre y la tía de David, y un profesor de la escuela que sirvió como inspiración a estos muchachos.
What the devil are you doing?
Making our work of art a masterpiece.
Brandon, you're going too far.
Why? What do you mean? I just thought it'd be nice to have supper in here. On this. Isn't it a good idea?
Well, at least this way no one will try to open it.
I don't think you appreciate me, Philip.
I'm beginning to, Brandon.
Well, come on. We don't have too much time. Mrs. Wilson will be coming back soon. Did you forget?
Lo importante de esta película es que nuestros protagonistas ocultan algo en el mueble donde sirven la comida, y el juego está en que nadie se entere de lo que hay ahí. Es más, durante la película van dejando varias pistas al respecto.
Well, it happened about 3 years ago in Connecticut. Mother has a place there, you know. We were going to have chickens, so we walked over to the farm. It was a lovely Sunday morning in late spring. Across the valley, the church bells were ringing, and in the yard, Philip was doing likewise to the necks of 2 or 3 chickens.
Oh, dear.
It was a task he usually performed very competently. But on this particular morning, his touch was perhaps a trifle too delicate. Because one of the subjects for our dinner table suddenly rebelled. Like Lazarus, he rose...
That's a lie!
Philip.
En la fiesta se hablan desde temas más mundanos hasta los temas más filosóficos, cuyo protagonista es Rupert, y fue el que les dio la idea a nuestros chicos para hacer la fiesta.
You may, and I do, think of the problems it would solve. Unemployment, poverty, standing in line for theater tickets.
I must say I've had a perfectly dreadful time getting tickets for that new musical. What's it called? You know.
The something with what's her name? My dear Miss Atwater.
So are we, Mr. Kentley. The few are those men of such intellectual and cultural superiority that they're above the traditional moral concepts. Good and evil, right and wrong, were invented for the ordinary average man, the inferior man, because he needs them.
Then obviously you agree with Nietzsche and his theory of the Superman.
Yes, I do.
Otro aspecto importante es el triángulo amoroso entre Janet, Kenneth y su amigo David.
Anyone else coming besides the Kendall? Yes, another old friend of yours.
This.
Even older friend of yours. Who?
I could really strangle you, Brandon.
What have I done now?
At times, your sense of humor is a little too malicious, chum.
What are you chattering about?
Why did you invite Kenneth?
Oh, why not?
You know perfectly well why not. We called it quits ages ago, and I'm practically engaged to his best friend.
David?
Yes, David. Which makes everything just ginger peachy.
Well, I'm terribly sorry, but it is a little difficult trying to keep up with your romances. After me came Kenneth, now it's David. Why the switch from Kenneth to David anyway?
Obviously, I think he's nicer.
Well, he's certainly richer.
That's a new low, even for you, chum.
Give me a D in conduct. How's your drink doing? All right.
How many years has it been since I said, oh, it tickles?
Brandon y Phillip son dos muchachos inteligentes que se creen superiores a los demás. Sin embargo, Brandon es el cínico, sarcástico y malo de la película, y Phillip es el menos malo, cobarde y errático.
Yes, where?
Cat and mouse, cat and mouse.
Philip.
Which is the cat and which is the mouse?
That's enough of that.
Mind your own business.
That's enough, Philip.
I told you before, mind your own business.
It really isn't any of my business. I'm not his keeper. With him in this condition, though, there doesn't seem to be much point in your staying, Rupert. That is, unless you came back to find something besides your cigarette case.
Durante toda la película, Rupert empieza a sospechar de lo que hicieron nuestros protagonistas, es que fueron demasiado obvios para mí.
It's a lovely night. You'll be driving up in good weather. I almost wish I were going with you. It might be rather exciting. Driving at night always is. But driving with you and Philip now might have an additional element of suspense. You were right, Philip. Those books were tied clumsily.
He's got it. He's got it. He knows. He knows.
All right.
He knows.
Easy. I'll take care of
No, you won't.
La fiesta termina y todos los personajes vuelven a casa. Brandon y Phillip festejan porque su plan fue un éxito, aunque...
Thank you for a lovely evening. Good night, good night. It's been charming. Oh, Philip, this party really deserves to go down in history. Well, come on, it's over. And it couldn't have gone more beautifully.
Yes, it could. Without Rupert.
Oh, but he was brilliant. He helped me say all the things I've wanted to say to those idiots. He gave the party the very touch I predicted.
Brandon, it's Rupert.
What?
He wants to come up. He says he left a cigarette case here. He wants to come up.
Well, let him come.
But you know he's lying. He's caught on. He didn't leave
Shut
any...
up and get back to that phone.
I won't.
Get back to that phone.
Brandon, I can't.
You've got to.
No, he knows.
Shut up.
Aparece Rupert para descubrir qué está pasando, y en un gran final plantea la parte más filosófica y profunda de la película. ¿Hay seres humanos con derecho a declararse superiores a otros?
I couldn't believe it was true. Rupert, please.
Please, what?
Listen to me. Just listen. Let me explain.
Explain? Do you think you can explain that?
Yes, to you I can, because you'll understand.
Understand?
Rupert, Rupert, remember the discussion we had before with Mr. Ketley? Yes. Remember we said the lives of inferior beings are unimportant? Remember we said, we've always said, you and I, that moral concepts of good and evil and right and wrong don't hold for the intellectually superior. Remember, Rupert?
Yes, I remember.
Well, that's all we've done. That's all Philip and I have done. He and I have lived what you and I have talked. I knew you'd understand, because you have to, don't you see? You have to.
Tras unos disparos, Rupert hace que venga la policía. Soy Agustín López y esto ha sido Una Vieja.
Did you think you were God, Brandon? Is that what you thought when you choked the life out of him? Is that what you thought when you served food from his grave? Well, I don't know what you thought or what you are, but I know what you've done. You've murdered. You've strangled the life out of a fellow human being who could live and love as you never could. And never will again.
What are you doing?
It's not what I'm going to do, Brandon. It's what society's going to do. I don't know what that'll be, but I can guess, and I can help. You're going to die, Brandon, both of you. You're going to die.